It's Wednesday and it is 12 noon. So let's have a little lunch and let's talk a little real estate, shall we? So today I wanted to talk about what makes a strong offer in this market. So as many of you know, um, interest rates have gone down. They're actually the lowest they've been since 2022. So about 4 years. They're just below 6%, which could be a great opportunity for a lot of you. And there's been an uptick in refinances because of it, and a lot of buyers who were previously on the fence are now off the fence because interest rates have gone down. So, as a listing agent, I work with both buyers and sellers. As a listing agent, I've seen some very interesting offers. And as a buyer's agent, I have submitted some interesting offers for my buyers as well. So I understand, I get it. Ultimately, it's the buyer or the seller's choice, what they accept or what they submit, right? So in this market, we're getting ready for the spring market. We're gonna start seeing, ideally, I've already heard from a couple of my colleagues that they're seeing multiple offer situations again. So what's gonna make your offer strong? What's gonna make your offer stand out among the others? So when we talk about a strong offer or good offer, like, what do you think is the most important thing that makes it a strong offer? Do we think it's price? Do we think it's terms? Like, what do we actually think that strong offer is? What makes a strong offer? My honest opinion, and everything that I'm saying today, I'm expressing as my opinion, not nobody else's, is they can be both. A strong offer can be the highest offer, or the strong offer can have the offer that has the best terms. It all depends on how you structure it, right? So today I'm going to break down the 5 top things that I think make an offer strong. What do sellers want, right? A seller wants to be confident in your offer, because ideally they're going to take their house off the market in order for you to purchase the house. So it needs to be strong. They need to be confident about what you're offering them, right? They need to know, like, okay, this one is actually going to get to the closing table and it's going to close. So they want to feel confident and they want to feel safe, because as soon as they take their house off the market, now they are missing marketing days, right? Which means the house is pending, so you're not going to have as many eyes on it because people are going to kind of pass by it because it's pending. And then when it comes back on the market, people are going to be like, oh, what happened? Something must be wrong with the house because it came back on the market. Which it could be so many reasons why a house comes back on the market. It could be an appraisal issue. It could be an inspection issue. It could be buyer financing. It could be a ton of different reasons why it comes back on the market. But for a seller to take their house off the market and accept your offer, they need to feel safe and they need to feel confident, right? So number one, competitive pricing still matters. I understand that sometimes houses can sit for a little while and the perception is they're overpriced, right? But as an agent, it's our job to educate our clients as a buyer's agent to say, hey, that house may have been sitting on the market, but it's actually priced really well. It's actually below market value. Let's do a little bit of our research, right? Let's figure out what's going on and why it's on the market. It might not be price. It truly might be something else. But ideally, pricing, we know that the only 2 reasons why houses don't sell, and that's price and condition. So typically, if it's not price, it's condition, or vice versa. It also shows that you're serious, that you're a serious buyer. I had a buyer on a $300,000. Sorry, I had a seller. I was representing a seller. I had a buyer come and submit an offer that was like $35,000 less than list price, and they asked for $8,000 in closing costs. My seller absolutely did not take that offer serious, and it didn't go over well. So being competitive with your pricing absolutely will help you get your offer accepted. How you structure your offer is important. Do you have a long due diligence period? Do you have a bunch of contingencies? I don't know. How you structure your offer absolutely matters. Number 2, financing strength is key. As a listing agent, when I receive offers for my sellers' properties, I call that lender. Hey, Have you got where are y'all in the process with this particular customer? Or have y'all just taken the application, or have you already received all of his financials? Have you done a desktop approval? If a lender tells you, hey, all I need is a satisfactory appraisal, clear title, and we're ready to go, that's the lender that you want to go with, truly. So we want to make sure they have a strong approval, not just, oh, they did an application and it's preliminary. No, we want as far as they can go, right? We want a solid down payment too. We understand that a lot of people don't have a ton of money to put down on a house, but if they're doing FHA 3.5%, or they can do 5%, they could do, or with conventional, typically with VA, it's a 0% down. So you just want to make sure that what the terms are behind that particular buyer to see if it's a strong offer or not. And then of course, if they're going to be paying cash, have you submitted proof of funds with the offer as well? It makes absolutely no sense if you're submitting an offer, a cash offer, and you don't submit the proof of funds. Like, that's the best way to make a seller feel very confident about your offer, is if you have the proof of funds with the offer. But I digress. Number 3, clean and clear terms. Nothing ambiguous in your contract, y'all. We want to make sure that it is very clear what you're asking for, very cleanly written. And avoid adding unnecessary contingencies, right? If you're doing a due diligence period, fine. 7 days, 10 days, cool. But when you start talking about 21 days for a due diligence, that's going to be very shaky. A seller's not going to want to take their house off the market for 21 days for a due diligence period. Why? Because during the due diligence period, you can terminate the contract, at least in Georgia, for any reason under the sun. So you basically have this seller in limbo for 21 days while you decide on whether or not this is the home for you. And typically, I found when buyers have longer due diligence period, they're actually looking for other properties or houses to make this one seem not so great anymore. We're not doing that. Have a flexible closing date, right? If you have a buyer who is in a lease and their lease doesn't end until June, and there's no reason that they can have to close, before May, if they don't have to close before May. But have a conversation as a buyer's agent. Call that listing agent and say, hey, my buyer can actually be flexible on the closing date. Is your client open to being flexible on the closing date? A seller might need a little more time because they're trying to get all their stuff out of the house. Or they might be looking for their forever home as well. So they might need a little more time to find their house too. Communication, y'all. Pick up the phone. Call the listing agent. Hey, my buyer's thinking about submitting an offer. Here's the closing date they were thinking about. Does that work for your seller's time frame? You've already proven that you're a great communicator because you pick up the phone and you're having a conversation. And on top of that, you're compromising because you want to see a win for all parties involved. Again, just my thoughts. And number 4, Earnest Money Shows Commitment. On a $400,000 house, not even on a $400,000 house, your earnest money should always be at least 1%. I said it. That's just for me. Earnest money should be at least 1% on these properties because we want it to be a number that's going to be hard for your buyers just to simply walk away. If you're at a $400,000 house and you submit $1,000 of earnest money, that's a lot harder. That's a lot easier to walk away from than if you have put $4,000 down for your earnest money. Earnest money is what helps solidify the contract. It gives the seller okay, they have some skin in the game. They're serious. They're committed. It demonstrates all those things to that seller. So when they're considering offers, they can say, hey, that's a serious buyer because it just makes sense. I've had agents tell me how clients have walked away from deals because they submitted so little in earnest money that they didn't even care about it anymore. So we want to make sure that we're submitting enough earnest money where it makes sense. Hi, Brian. We got to talk because I got your email yesterday. We got to talk. And number 5, presentation. The presentation of your offer matters. Are all of the exhibits included with the offer, right? Do you have that proof of funds, that pre-approval letter from Brian Moran? Do you have all of your documentation in order? If there is an HOA, Do you have your community association disclosure attached to it? Is your lead-based paint exhibit attached to it? Is your seller's property disclosure attached to it? Are all the necessary exhibits and agreements for the contract attached to that offer? Because again, a strong package shows that you're looking to make this commitment to that seller and give them the confidence they need, right? Because remember, I said they want to be confident and they want to feel safe that your offer is actually going to be the one that's going to close, right? And it's organized. You have it in order. A exhibit followed by B, C, and D, or whatever the case may be. Be very clear on what it is you're looking for the seller to consider of that offer. Like I said, the seller is looking for, they want to feel safe. They want to feel confident that your listing, that your contract is actually going to be the one that closes, that gets them to the closing table. Sellers are looking for structure. They're looking for confidence. They're looking for safety, and they're looking for clarity. They're looking for the offer, right, that's going to remove the doubt so that they can get your property sold. Get their property sold. That's simply what they're looking for. So when you're submitting an offer this spring, if you're looking to buy your first home, or you're selling your house and buying another one, or whatever the case may be, make sure that whatever offer that you're submitting is going to make that seller confident, is going to make them safe, is going to provide them with clarity, and gives them structure to say, this is the one for me. That's the one I'm choosing, and I'm moving forward. We're going to the closing table, right? Because at the end of the day, the strongest offer isn't necessarily the highest offer. It is truly the one that removes the doubt and provides the confidence the seller is looking for. So hopefully that helps. You guys have an amazing Wednesday. Happy hump day to you all. Hi, Brittany. I will see you. I love me a good Sarah Caldwell. I love her. She has no idea, but I adore her. I really, really do. I stalked her online a little bit. Stalked her online a little bit. She has an amazing story. Maybe I'll have her on one day. We can discuss her story. Maybe. Let's talk about it. So, y'all have an amazing Wednesday. Meet me here. Absolutely. Meet me here every Wednesday at noon for a little lunch and a little real estate. And I will talk to y'all soon. Y'all have a good one.